We welcome you to Phillies Post Game Live, presented by Cure Auto Insurance, along with Ricky Vitalico. I'm Michael Barkan. To the game in just a moment, because we do want to point out that the Phillies have made a reported trade with the Minnesota Twins, acquiring closer Jhoan Duran for Mick, Abel, and Eduardo, Tait. And that's all well and good. And Dave Dombrowski is speaking in just a few moments. But Ricky Bo, that does not obscure the fact that, in my opinion, this is the worst loss of the season. This White Sox team stinks.
This White Sox team is not very good. And a perfect thing to look at was that top of the ninth inning. They're throwing the ball all over the infield. They look like a little league team, and the Phillies lost to that team. This was an embarrassing series for the Phillies. It really was. This team should not be on the same field as the Philadelphia Phillies, and you know what they did? They wiped them. That's exactly what they did. This was embarrassing on all aspects. Max Lazar was terrible in this ball game. I mean, quite frankly, how many times have you ever seen 8 hits in one inning, Michael? Seriously. Yeah. I mean, just go and think about that.
And the 7 runs when it was still a ball game.
This was one of the ugliest games I've seen. I thought the Phillies went up with no purpose offensively. I didn't think they had an approach whatsoever. We sat around for 4 hours waiting for a game where they played like this. I mean, at least show up. I mean, you have to be there. You're sitting in the clubhouse for 4 hours. You might as well show up for the game. Instead, they put their heads in the sand and said, let's get out of here.
Also, this season is heading, unfortunately, the way last season ended up. I'm saying that now as we are on the cusp of August. When you look at a 25-win, 25-loss June and July combined, and the way they're losing these games, it really is disgraceful and stunning with the lineup that they have, with the starting pitching that they have. And when you play a team that is among the worst teams in baseball, second worst record in baseball, the worst record in the American League, I don't care about the rain delay, I don't care about the bullpen game, I don't care who's pitching well, that team stinks. You got to beat them.
I agree.
You got to take that series. They lost the series to the Chicago White Sox, and it doesn't portend well for this Phillies. Now, here's a little thumbs up for you, because it is now official, and he has converted 74 of 83 career save opportunities. I know you like this move.
Yeah, you look at his numbers, they're really good numbers. And this is something that there's no way he's not going directly to the back end of the bullpen and staying in the back end of the bullpen. I think this guy is a closer. That's why they got him. He's going to finish games here. 101 miles an hour at times. He's got a really good curveball. The strange thing about his curveball, it's like 87 miles an hour. That's like a hard slider, but it's straight down. It's kind of a 12-to-6er. It's really kind of nasty. And then to go along with everything, 100 miles an hour with a nasty split.
Yeah.
Nasty, filthy split.
By the way, you see the spelling of his first name, Jhoan. It is pronounced Jhoan. Duran is officially how it's pronounced. I think he might say Duran, but we'll learn it officially soon enough. But when you look at this Phillies bullpen, and you talked about the lineup being lengthened should they acquire a solid bat, the bullpen just got that much deeper having this guy anchoring it, doesn't it?
That's the one thing you look for in a bullpen. I don't – we saw Ryan Kerkering close. I don't think anybody thought that he was just going to get thrown into that role and that was going to be the end-all, be-all. I think with Duran, I think that's what you're going to do. You're going to throw him in the ninth inning. You're going to have Kerkering and Strahm be your setup guys. And then you don't even really have to worry about Jordan Romano, because Jordan Romano could now go to the 5th or 6th inning because you have David Robertson sneaking in. And I'm going to tell you right now, Jose Alvarado is going to be back. I would use him as much as you possibly can in August and September. If you need a bulldog to go in there, just keep putting him in there. He's going to be he's under contract, and he's probably not going to get the option next year. And he can't pitch in the playoffs. So why not use them when you can?
All right, now let's go to the press box. Actually, we're going to go to the clubhouse in Chicago, and here is the Phillies president of baseball operations, Dave Dombrowski, with the official good news. It's the little good news we've had out of Chicago these last 3 days. Here's Dombo on the trade.
Made Duran the guy for you?
Well, I mean, we like quite a few closers, or quite a few relievers. There weren't very many available as time went on. Some of the other organizations decided to not make some moves, so we just thought he was the best guy out there, really, is what it came that was available to be acquired. a lot of clubs have been talking about if we were going to acquire their closer, that they were asking for Andrew Painter. We decided that we weren't going to trade Andrew in this trade. And so we felt this was a deal that we got a dominant closer for a tough price, two good players, but something that we think where we are makes sense.
And how important to you was it? You've been active in the rental market the last few deadlines, trading some prospects. How important in your mind was it to get someone we will have beyond this season?
Well, that would always be the preference. The difference is the acquisition price. I mean, we're willing to pay a little bit more of a price than we would not have paid this price for a rental. So that's what really is a difference for us. So not only this year, but 2 more years, 2 more seasons after this. So if we were talking a pure rental, we would not have traded these players for that.
How difficult was it to part with a guy with the potential like Tait has?
Well, both players. Tait's a really good prospect. I think, for us, the one difference is he is down the road a little bit, but he really is a good player. And, Mick, we like a lot. We think he's ready to step into big league rotation. And I think that really, in talking to Derek Falvey, their GM, quite a bit over the time, and we've been talking to a lot of other clubs too. The difference is Mick, I don't know if they're going to put him right in the rotation right now this time, but he can't. So, and it wouldn't surprise me if they ended up doing that. But they know he's ready to pitch at the big league level, and that's a difference maker. They had a lot of interest in Duran. So for us, having a player that was ready to pitch for him made a big difference.
Are you still looking for bullpen help? Or do you
No.
This is it?
No, I mean, if somebody puts somebody that's
Right,
so good
yeah.
on here, but between Duran, we've got Robertson coming, and we're pleased with his progress. We have Kirkering from the right-hand side, and then with Strom and Banks. We feel very comfortable where we are. And when I talk to Topper, he'll talk more about him, and he's a legitimate closer. So we feel he'll fit into that role for us.
Did you come in here and say anything to the clubhouse after?
No,
Okay.
no. I don't even know if they know. Personally, I have no idea.
And would you see yourself getting any kind of offensive upgrade before 6 p.m. tomorrow?
Well, we're not done. So, I mean, we're not done talking, and the deadline's not over. We'll just see what ends up happening. I really don't know. They're tough to acquire too right now. So we have to kind of see what happens tomorrow, really.
You said with Painter, you said you weren't going to move him at least in this trade, or at least at this time for a closer or reliever. Is he?
No, we're not. We're
untouchable?
just not moving.
You're just not moving him.
We
Period.
weren't moving.
Flatly. Okay.
Well, we weren't. I mean, I can't tell you 5 years from now.
No. I mean
that's
right
a-
now.
Yeah.
Right now.
No,
this
we were
trade
talking
deadline,
about not
he's
trading.
okay.
No, we're not
Got it.
trading.
Okay.
And there were a couple other guys we told them we weren't going to trade either. So.
How would you describe the talks with the Twins? I mean, when did it really come to a head?
Well, really, probably more just the days kind of meshed together here at this time of year. But I would say they were more of since we were here in Chicago, more so. I mean, they know what we were looking for, that we were looking for bullpen help. I've had that conversation with them. I really didn't think this one was possible, a couple days ago. I'm not really sure what the difference was in that regard. I do think that having Abel close to the big leagues made a difference. Because I do know that they had a lot of interest in him. We've heard from a lot of clubs that were trying to get him after we got him. And so they really picked up over the last few days. And really, even this afternoon, or late morning, I should say, because we were at the hotel, that's when we really kind of, okay, give me your best offer. We had gone over so many different other possibilities and names. And so it really picked up over the last, really more so today. This is where really, Derek had mentioned to me, I don't know what time it is. At the time was 5 o'clock. It was 5 o'clock. He was going into an ownership meeting, 5 o'clock Minnesota time, to discuss whatever options they had, he told me. But really, a couple hours before that is when we really start going back and forth.
Did you say you had a stressful rain delay or an exciting rain delay?
Well, did we have a rain delay?
It was 3 hours and 35 minutes. Yeah.
No, I know we did.
Do you feel like at this point, around baseball that like most teams know if they're buying and selling at this point? I mean, it seemed like for a long time there were a lot of teams that were on the fence. Do you feel like it's shaken out a little bit?
Well, I can't tell you they all do. I don't. But, really, we've had conversations with other clubs today, but some of the clubs that maybe were undecided, I haven't spoken to them today, so I can't speak for where they are. But as of yesterday, I talked to a couple of clubs that still were unsure where they were going to go.
If you do need a bat, does it need to be right-handed?
Well, need to be, I can't say it needs to be, but that's more of a preference.
Right.
What made you more willing to shop in a more expensive aisle this deadline? More willing to go out to surrender to better prospects?
Well, we got a really good guy, some that we have control over. I think that makes a big difference. So I think we're deeper in prospects too. That helps. Even though we traded 2 really good prospects, we have 4 more that are in the top 100 prospects in baseball. We just drafted a guy that number 1 that I think probably fits into that category. We just and we have other guys that maybe aren't getting quite the accolades that we like in our system a great deal too. I think that helps. So I think that's the difference. The control aspect is, again, that's huge. And I think we have a chance to win. I think we have, but I felt that in the past too. We just haven't given it up. A lot of times you can't get a guy like this either with the control. The Twins, now there's a club that decided they were in it as of last week. They were still trying to get in it. They've made a decision they would go the other way. So a lot of times you can't get a guy like this, and they finally decided probably for them, they still have other good bullpen arms, as you know, with Jackson, Stewart, and Barland that they have. So it's a situation where I think they probably felt, well, you know what, if we're going to maximize value, this is probably a time to do it. It makes sense for them, too.
Thompson hasn't formally used the closer designation that much in past years. What made you want to get a guy that you can even give that label to?
Because he's good enough, really. He's legitimate. He's a legitimate closer. And we talked about it beforehand, that if we got him, he'd be our guy. So, and then it does help in the sense that he can mix and match around. He gets lefties and righties out. In fact, his average, righties don't hit him. Their batting averages, their OPS is not very good at all, but their batting average for lefties are just it's amazing how low it is overall. And so he gets lefties and righties out. The one thing they told me, they said, don't worry, he'll pitch. If you wanted him to use another inning, he would. And Rod Thompson said, well, we're pitching him in the 9th. Now he has also pitched multiple innings at various times too, but I don't think we're getting him for that purpose.
He'll join the club Friday.
Yes. Yeah, we already talked to him. They were just talking to him about it, but he'll be there for Friday.
Phillies president of baseball operations, Dave Dombrowski, talking about the Jhoan Duran trade that brings the now former Twins closer to Philadelphia for Mick, Abel, and Eduardo Tait, the catcher. And he said it was because of the fact that they would have control of Jhoan Duran's rights for the next couple of seasons, that made sense for them. They wouldn't have done it for a rental.
No, probably not. They're in a situation where now they have this guy for 2.5 years. You can't sit back and say it wasn't a good deal for them, because it was. The 2 things that stuck out to me is that basically this guy can flat out pitch, and number 2, he's a legitimate closer. You didn't hear a legitimate reliever, did you?
No.
They have a closer. Phillies finally have a closer.
I love the question he was asked at the end, which was Rob Thompson has been reluctant to put the closer label on any reliever over the past several seasons.
Too bad, Rob.
Why
Guess
this
what?
guy? He
Too
said
bad,
because
Rob.
he's good enough.
He is good enough.
He's legitimate, and he's a legitimate closer. I like that. He also said, and he kind of had to clarify, he said, we're not done. He said, we're not done talking, and we're still trying to get some things done, hopefully, between now and the trade deadline, which is tomorrow, 6 p.m. I still think, Ricky Bo, I don't know about you, they need a bat and a clutch hitter that can make some things happen, and today's game would attest to that.
I would seriously assume that they're done with the bullpen market, considering you have David Robertson there, you have now Duran there, and you have Alvarado come back. I think you're done there. I think you're done.
And he said as much.
And I like the fact that they're still out there fishing. That's what they're supposed to do. They have another, well, I don't even know how many hours. I'm tired.
Yeah, less than 24. How about that?
Yeah, less than
22
24 hours to get some deals done. So we'll see how that runs.
The other thing he said, we're good enough.
Dave's
I think
not
we're
a quitter.
good enough. He's not a quitter.
He's not a quitter.
He's going to try to get it done. That makes me feel a lot better about the mess we just watched on the field in Chicago. We'll take in the month of July, their combined record in June and July, and the bullpen struggle tonight. Tanner Banks gave up just 1 hit, okay, but Max Lazar, who had pitched fairly well in his last appearances, 7 hits, 6 runs for Lazar. Johnson relieves him. He gives up an additional run. And then Alan Ronhell, who actually looked pretty good.
7 runs in 3 innings. That's not exactly optimal for a bullpen. That's way too many. You got to be able to throw the pitches where you want to throw them. I mean, we've seen Max Lazar have some good games, but now you see something like this and you start to say to you, well, there's the consistency thing. Not able to make adjustments during an inning, that's a problem. And that's why you bring in a closer. Everybody, there's the depth thing. Somebody's getting bumped, Michael. Remember that.
Yeah, someone will get bumped because Jhoan Duran is coming in to save the day for the Phillies in the bullpen. Here's Rob Thompson on the game and the acquisition of his new closer.
Did you catch wind maybe during the game, or what was your reaction when Dave tells you that you wanted a closer?
Well, I knew that we were talking, and then I'm not sure what inning it was that it came down. Yeah, it's a great deal. You know, you hate to lose prospects, and I lost 2 good ones, but this guy's one of the best closers in baseball, and you know, it makes we've turned the bullpen into a really good bullpen as far as I'm concerned now.
How will you use? He'll be your closer. How do you think it makes you use your other guys, or what kind of freedom does it give you maybe for using
Well, it
your
just
other guys?
lengthens pen so much. You know, you've got leverage almost in every guy down there with Strom and Kirkring, and Banks has pitched really well. Lazar, up until today, has pitched really well. Romano seems like he can be a guy that can come in and finish an inning for you with runners on base. So we got some pieces now. We got Robertson coming back. We got Alvarado coming back. So.
You haven't really used the term closer that much in
Yeah.
past years. What makes you comfortable with kind of changing that strategy?
Well, he's had that role, and he's been really good at it. And he can get both left-handed and right-handed hitters out. So, you know, now you've got a lot of length in that bullpen.
Today in the 7th inning, what made you not want to go to Strom or Kirkring there?
Because they're more 8th and 9th inning guys. That's basically, so now they slide up with Duran. And Lazar, that was kind of surprising to me because he's been pitching so well. You know, you give up the 2 hard hits to the lefties to begin the inning. Rojas makes an unbelievable throw again. So you feel pretty good. Then you get soft hit. I think he's kind of settling in maybe, and then he goes up the home run, and then that was kind of it.
Rob, in your mind, you have, Duran 9, but is it just matchups with your other relievers as far as you'll go, or do you have a set in your mind maybe 7, 8 Duran, something like that?
Yeah, so I think the 2 main setup guys would be Strom and Kirkring. And you'd mix and match with them depending on what pocket you're in. And 6th inning, you've got a bevy of guys that you can use.
Are you hopeful that you'll still get a bat before tomorrow? Or are you optimistic?
I don't think that way. They do their thing, and we'll see what happens.
Kepler, what was the deal with him?
It's left tricep, I believe. He did it swinging in the cage, and evidently Paul said that he couldn't go. It was that stiff and sore, but they worked through it during the game. Felt a lot better after the game. I'll come back in tomorrow on the day off for some treatment, and we'll see where we're at on Friday.
So you swinging the cage during the delay?
Yes.
Yeah.
When you guys did the background work, and I know it's not usually fault of you, but what was maybe the front office's work on the makeup for Duran? Because it being a closer and with a team with high expectations and a big market, what was the feedback you guys had gotten?
I think the
from organization?
makeup's pretty good because one of the things that he said was that he'd do anything we want him to do, but we want him to close. So.
He said that after you guys talked to him?
Yeah.
Or after the game?
Yeah. Well, I haven't talked to him yet.
Got you, Dave. Front office.
Dave and Preston talked to him,
Okay.
so that tells me it's probably pretty good makeup.
What did you think of 3-1?
Up in the zone, so he gave up a lot of barrels today, but he worked through it. He gave us 5 innings, gave up 2 runs. You know, that's who he is. He competes. Doesn't matter what he's got. He's going to go out there and he's going to compete and give us everything he's got, and that's what he did. He gave us a chance to win the ball game. I felt pretty good going into the 6th with our leverage guys and figuring we're going to score some runs, but it didn't happen.
Taijuan Walker. And you got to give a man his props because certainly he's been hammered by us and people far and wide because he has not been as advertised throughout much of his time in Philadelphia. But this season, he has done whatever has been asked of him. 5 innings pitched, 7 hits, just 2 earned runs. Ricky Bo in 80 pitches. You got to give him his props, don't you?
He got away with it.
I
don't want.
He had to do a lot of hard hit balls.
I don't want to play this game like he was really on point today and that he was hitting all his spots, but he did battle through. I think he's going through the same stuff that Luzardo's going through and that Ranger's going through, that you have to pitch certain days, and he tried pitching. I believe it was the second inning. When he went into the second inning, he gave up 6 straight hard hit balls, and he only gave up 1 run. That's luck. To be completely honest with you, he was getting hit hard, but you know what? Nonetheless, he got through that inning and he pitched well after that. He started locating his pitches much better. I wouldn't say this was his best game of the year, but his numbers look okay in it, so you take it.
Eugenio Suarez or any bat that you would like, is it going to make a big difference in a lineup that has not been able to get runs across and be clutch a lot of times during the season?
Suarez would 100% make a difference. I think he's one of those guys you could fit into the top of the lineup, and what he does is absolutely lengthen the lineup. I mean, you might have JT down at 6th or 7th. You think about that for a second. Go around the league. You're not finding a lot of JT Realmutos hitting 7th or 8th in your lineup.
Right.
I just think what Suarez would do would lengthen the lineup, and he would probably give you 74 home runs between 2 guys and 170 plus RBIs, only 2 guys.
Yeah, no,
that's a lot of run production between 2 people.
I hear you. I hope he can help get runs. Not that they're getting him.
You know something I don't?
No, I don't. Dave Dombrowski said we're still talking to teams.
I got to believe that's one of the teams.
Yeah, well, hopefully so. Let's go to the clubhouse once again. Here's Kyle Schwarber talking about today's loss and the acquisition of the new closer for the Phillies.
Yeah, I mean, it's a electric elite arm who's been doing it for quite a while now, and I feel like that's a guy who's going to obviously lengthen our pen, and feel like that he's been getting some really big outs for quite a while now. So we ran into him last year, saw him, and you know, it's electric stuff. So it's exciting to add a arm of that caliber into our bullpen, and excited to get him here get him into the field and get to meet him and let him roll out there.
Does the clubhouse, you think, appreciate a bigger move like that? You know, the front office going out and getting and say, hey, like this is.
Yeah, I mean, I think that whenever you make a splash for a high caliber player, that means something, and it means that they really want you to, they really want to help put you over the top and get you going. And with our adding him to some of our back end arms that we have already, that I feel like that's going to be a really tough 7, 8, 9 to kind of navigate for an offense. And personally, I remember in 16 when we traded for Aroldis Chapman, and it just kind of lifted the spirits of everyone. And I feel like that's going to be the same thing, and especially when we get him in here, get to meet him, and then get to let him roll out there for his first inning.
Did news start to travel during the game? Like, when did you guys hear this?
Yeah, we heard that. We heard it in the game. There were some whispers of it during the game, and you come in after the game, obviously, you can see, and then they announced the trade. So, obviously, wish Mick and Tait all the best, but they got bright futures ahead. But excited to get him in this clubhouse and get him rolling out there for us. Thanks.
Thanks, Paul.